I've studied calling and the idea of kind of like vocation within Scripture,
Yeah.
it's being appointed to something. It's like God has appointed, or someone is appointing you to a position. And so, if we're looking at it purely from what God is doing,
Yeah.
anytime God's appoint somebody to something, that means that's the most dignifying position that you can be in, right?
Yeah.
And so I think we have to begin to start seeing is like, how has God appointed me to something? Like, how have I been placed, or what positions have I been given? And while I'm there, how do I begin to honor God? I think it's extremely encouraging to see Joseph maneuver through his life. Joseph knew, right, that he had a vision that was given from God. So he dreamed that one day I'll have this high, significant, aristocratic position.
Yeah.
However, there were a series of callings, if you will.
Yeah.
There was a series of vocations and predicaments that he was in. However, he never, I would like to think, from my own vantage point, is that he never saw those positions as something that was necessarily beneath him in the current situation. He was like, well, I'm going to serve Potiphar's house as thoroughly as I can. I'm going to, while I'm in this prison, if you will, I'll serve and help people as best as I can. And now that I'm at the position that I've been told that I would receive, I am going to serve and love God as best as I can.
Yeah.
The other thing about calling, I think, is that you're never called, and I think this is paramount in Scripture. You're never called for your own benefit. You're always called to something for the flourishing and the benefit of other folks.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you can't benefit from it, but God calls people usually because of a service for other folks. And talk about Moses, talk about Abraham.
Yeah.
There's not a call in Scripture. There's not an appointment in Scripture where it's like, oh, don't worry, you'll be the only one that's blessed by this calling.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's no, I put you here so that you will bless a nation, or I put you here that you will bless a people or a community or these outcasts, or, et cetera, et cetera. And even all the time, you will bless the pagan society in the case of Daniel and the Hebrew boys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but there's always a plan. There's always a strategy for which God is doing this, and sometimes